I'll give everybody a minute to take a seat, but it's pretty exciting to begin the year and make these kind of connections, and it's just awesome. I know everybody much rather mill around and talk to everybody and continue to make connections, and that's a word we use a lot at United, and Duck River and Middle Tennessee Electric is making connections. And fortunately, we live in a state where the governor's decided everybody having a connection is really important, and that's why we're here today. So first of all, on behalf of Chris Jones, the CEO of Middle Tennessee Electric, who could not be here today, he's giving a keynote speak at the National Industry Association meeting. Scott Spence, the CEO of Duck River Electric. My name is William Bradford. I'm the CEO of United Communications. On behalf of our three companies and our team, we're excited to have you here and celebrate a really big day for these counties in Middle Tennessee. When you wake up in the morning on a day that's really transformative for your company, you're always thinking about all the things you're thankful for and how you got where you were. And it wasn't that long ago, United was a 40-employee company investing a couple $1 million a year in broadband. And fast forward 10 years, thanks in a large part to investing in counties that make it easy to do business and in a state that prioritizes infrastructure and broadband. We're going to invest over $60 million in broadband this year alone, and that's before we really even get started on these grants. So we're really excited. We've got many of our teammates here that are going to have to make it happen. It's easy to sit here today and give a speech, but at the end of the day, when everybody leaves, we got a lot of our teammates in here that are going to be getting poles ready and deliver cable and wires and build the fastest fiber network in Middle Tennessee. So we're really appreciative of that. I also got asked, to deliver a list of all the VIPs in the room, as you can imagine, and we sort of were looking at it, and I think everybody here is a VIP. When you think about what it takes to make a project like this happen, and especially when it's all local companies coming together to be a solution for our lack of broadband infrastructure, it's really all the people in this room. From the state level, we've got a governor that's prioritized broadband and infrastructure, and he knows what it's like to live without it. Thank you, Governor Lee. Our commissioner and the Tennessee broadband team, the ECD, our director of broadband is here today too. They've really made this one of the best programs in the country. And I don't know if y'all know this, but many other states reach out on a regular basis and ask, how have you done it? And that's because we live in a state that's made this a priority and made it easy for this program to be successful. So we're appreciative of that. And then the state has prioritized local partnerships, and they've prioritized our counties, our county mayors, our county commissioners, our local citizens, all coming together to make these projects a success. And I can sit in front of you today knowing with great confidence that these projects and this massive investment is going to be a success. When you look across our three companies, Duck River Electric, Middle Tennessee Electric, and United Communications, we've invested almost $2 billion of infrastructure in this region, and that's companies that are headquartered right here. Everybody in this room lives right here. This infrastructure investment highlighted in blue is your neighbors. It's you. Many of you on the commissions have gone without broadband, and so it's pretty cool to see. As a resident of Williamson County myself, all this make a huge impact on our communities, and it's going to stay right here. We like to joke, you can't move a network. We've invested $2 billion of infrastructure in this region, and we're not going anywhere. And to a certain degree, we're just getting started. So I'd like to welcome just a real quick video, and then we'll recognize our special guests. Thank you. Quite simply, the digital divide means that people in urban and suburban areas have access to reliable broadband, and people in our rural communities do not. And we set out a couple years ago to even the playing field.
And internet is so important and vital to our business. To be honest with you, we rely so much on that with our businesses, whether it's sales or inventory, communication. It's so vital, that internet accessibility for us.
Having a fast, reliable internet connection is super important to JAG because we move so much data. On top of that, we also do a lot of video calls because our clients are all across the country.
Project Unite is our most important mission here at United Communications, and what it's really about is uniting our communities through access to really fast internet and great customer service. amazing sitting here today. There's still tens of thousands of Middle Tennesseans that lack access to broadband, and it's really holding them back. It means they can't study from home. It means they can't work from home. And it means they can't take advantage of all the advances in telemedicine and the convenience of telemedicine. And those three things are really important to quality of life today. And then fourth, equally important is just the ability to surf and stream at home. And we take that for granted, and that's a really important piece of the puzzle. And so when we set out on this mission, we knew we had to have great partners, and we're fortunate to have the best. Middle Tennessee Electric and Duck River Electric bring a couple of important things to this partnership. One is they're community driven. They believe in serving their members, and that mirrors our belief in why we're doing this. Two, they own all the infrastructure in the area. So by partnering together, we can be really smart on how we construct these networks in the hardest to serve areas.
I actually had an install where the lady was in tears at the end of it because she hasn't been able to take a job working from home because she had no access to high-speed internet, and now she can go from working 3 jobs to 1.
It's a great program, a great initiative to help rural economic development as well in some of these rural areas.
We're a local company and we value partnerships. And we've got great partnerships with our electric partners, we've got great partnerships with government, but we also need those local partnerships. And this could be local businesses and local residents that are energized, that are vocal, that help us create awareness. And those are the ones that end up being the most successful projects, are the ones that really start from that grassroots level. And it's so rewarding to come to work every day and see the energy and feed off of it. And when we're done, we're going to be one of the largest internet providers in the state of Tennessee.
It's a great feeling, giving someone broadband for the first time.
They're seeing the progress we're making, and they realize that if they engage and they help support these projects, that they're seeing the results and they're getting broadband to their community. You know, 75 years ago, United was founded by a bunch of farmers and local business leaders to bring phone service to the many rural areas that lacked phone service. And we're sitting here today, 75 years later, talking about doing the same thing with broadband. Local leaders, local companies being part of this solution, and that's what's required and what's set us apart in the state of Tennessee. You know, we like to joke at United, we're like a 75-year-old startup. We really have the mentality we're just getting started, and this mission, the mission of Project Unite, is really just getting started. To date, we've brought service to over 17,000 locations that have lacked access to broadband under Project Unite, and we're just getting started. We're here to celebrate kickstarting this program and really once and for all setting on a path to solving this for every single Middle Tennessean. And we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for our leaders here that have made this a priority, have put their money where their mouth is, and established great programs that require all of us in this room to come together and make it a success. So it's my great honor. Well, I should mention one more thing. It's not just happening here. I was reminded even in our conversations this morning, the state legislature has done all the right things to even support this broadband infrastructure investment. And if you think about it, last year they passed a moratorium on tax on broadband, right? So with every $50 million we invest, we pay $5 million of taxes on that infrastructure, and said, how can we have programs that encourage broadband investment and tax it at the same time? And it's all those things that you just come to expect in the state of Tennessee, these smart things that really encourage local companies putting significant amount of their own capital at work and at risk to invest in this infrastructure that nobody's built ever before. So we're really proud to be leading this initiative. Project Unite is our most important initiative, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the program established by Governor Lee. So with that, Governor Lee, are you up first? Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Room full of people that a whole lot of them I know, because uniquely this is actually happening in my community as well. As you know, I have lived here all my life in this region, served by these partners that are coming together to deliver broadband to rural communities, and I'm excited to be here this morning, in part because it's a culmination, kind of a manifestation of a belief that we have that rural Tennessee matters. When I came into office, the executive order number 1 required every department of state government to deliver a strategic plan on how each of those departments could work in a way that would positively impact rural economies in this state. That was the very first executive order I wrote, because rural Tennessee matters so much to me, because it matters so much to the people of Tennessee. As I've said, what happens in rural Tennessee matters to every Tennessean. We need to have an economy that works for all Tennesseans. We have the #1 economy in America of all 50 states right now. And we need to make sure that that is happening in every community all across our state. And access to technology will allow that to happen. We all know that. The ability to work from home, the ability to be educated from home, the ability to get access to healthcare at home, the ability to live and work in a rural community in today's world requires broadband expansion. So when we came into office, we decided to make this a priority, and we have done so every year, but this is the year that we really, because of the American Rescue Plan, we created the Tennessee Emergency Broadband Initiative. That combination allowed us to put $450 million into the broadband expansion for our state that'll serve, estimated at 150,000 more people. And that access will be important to those folks. I will say, there are a lot of people in this room who are partners and local leaders. This is entirely a local effort. There's funding from the state that's actually partnered, that's matched with the local funding from the partnership of Project Unite. But it is a partnership of local effort. That's really how this happens. That's what's so exciting about it to me, is that this is local leaders serving local people. And lives will be changed by this. And at the end of the day, that's, there's a lot of policy we work on every day, but at the end of the day, if it's being driven by a desire to impact people's lives for good, then it's good policy. And that's really what this is. I see Representative Marsh back there. I want to, along with Senator Hensley, Representative Warner, who else is here that I saw? Wait a minute. It's Representative Sapicki. Where are you, sir? Back there. I mentioned their names. Did I miss any others that are in the General Assembly? I saw you for. Oh, Sam Winston. Sam. I should never start down that path. That's a terrible mistake. So okay, you have the list. You can name them off. I see their faces as I'm standing here, but I already said Pat, so I'll let you list it off. But here's the thing. The reason I mentioned that, we're about to go into legislative session again here in another week. Working together alongside the men and women of the General Assembly to advance the lives of the people that they serve, really important work. This is not a governor's initiative that the governor has brought about. This is a partnership that includes funding approvals by the General Assembly. So we deliver a budget, and particularly on this American Rescue Plan dollars, and Representative Marsh knows this directly because he served on the Financial Stimulus Accountability Group, which is really a transparent, accountable process for delivering and for determining where these federal dollars were going to go. But he served on that group along with other members of the General Assembly. This is a partnership, and I want to thank them for the opportunity that I have to serve alongside them to represent the people of their community, along with the rest of the many other leaders that are in this room. So I could go on and on, because this stuff, this is really valuable stuff. Infrastructure, communication, technology, in rural communities in particular. It's life-changing things that are happening because of you and the people in this community who want to do it. And by the way, this is the largest investment. This is the largest grant of all the grants that the state has made in state history for the expansion of broadband in this region. So congratulations to you for, yeah, that's right. Congratulations for you all making it happen in this community. The only way that these dollars get allocated in this significant way is when a community comes together and proves that they're prepared to do it and that they have the partnerships necessary from local leaders, county mayors, city mayors, members of the General Assembly, business leaders, community leaders. You have to come together in a way that warrants the largest grant in the history of the state, and you've done so. So be proud, and the people of this region should be grateful for what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. I'm Stuart McWorter. I'm the Commissioner of Economic and Community Development for the state of Tennessee, and it's always a pleasure and honor to follow the governor's remarks just to make sure that he gets his numbers right and names all the folks that are introduces everybody. And you did well, sir. A lot of my comments really echo a lot of what the governor said, and I'll just simply say this: that we can't do our work at Economic and Community Development without you all, the partners. This is right down the center of the fairway with respect to economic development and all the things that go along with it, whether it's the households and people working from home or businesses that are setting up and growing as businesses are growing, particularly in this region. It is a significant, day because as the governor said, it is the largest investment in high-speed broadband infrastructure ever made in the state of Tennessee, and that's remarkable. And we recognize that as we see what's happening around the state. Right here is there's a lot of activity going on. As the governor said, broadband in general across the state, $450 million that was allocated in grant support for via Tennessee Emergency Broadband American Rescue Plan, which in general, just so you know what that program is, it's going to cover 75 projects across 58 counties across the state of Tennessee, partnering with 36 internet service providers across our state, and it'll impact, as the governor said, 150,000 Tennessee household and businesses. For this particular announcement, the impact on what we call southern middle Tennessee region, $53 million will be awarded today, again, the largest ever. And as the governor said, $77 million invested by the grantees. Those that are receiving the grants are investing their dollars, $77 million, matching up against the 53, which will cover 6 projects across 8 counties. The 8 counties, Bedford, Giles, Franklin, Lincoln, Murray, Marshall, Moore, and Williamson counties. It'll impact 13,592 households and 247 businesses by this round of infrastructure grants. So that's a significant amount of folks being impacted by this. As the governor said, rural development, economic development is important for the state. It's important, obviously, to our governor and to our General Assembly. You all know the governor well. You know his background, and you know his focus on rural Tennessee, and this announcement aligns very well with that. And we would also say, from our department's perspective, we value our partners, our local partners, and I think what we're announcing today is just another example of why we do and why it works. This is extremely unique. Not many states do it this way, and we're certainly thankful for that. It lets us do our job and do it well, and we're super excited about that. So before I close, I do want to recognize first and foremost William Bradford and the United Communications team, Chris Jones and the Middle Tennessee Electric team, and Scott Spence with Duck River Electric. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for your support and congratulations for the awards. Also, we want to recognize the General Assembly members that are here. Again, as the governor said, we certainly can't do the work without their support, which they are very supportive of our department, certainly supportive of this grant program. Senator Joey Hensley is here, Representative Jake McCalman, Representative Pat Marsh, Representative Todd Warner, Representative Scott Sipicki, Representative Sam Whitson, and Representative Kip Capley. I don't think that Majority Leader Senator Jack Johnson is here, but I did want to mention him. He's certainly been a great supporter of our work as well. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I apologize if I missed anybody from the General Assembly. Thank you all again, gentlemen, for your support. And then lastly, for my team, Assistant Commissioner Brooksy Carlton, who is over all of our rural and community development, but she has an all-star team with our broadband team, Taylor Beatty, who is our broadband director, Brian Sanderlin, Assistant Broadband Director, Emily Hale, Broadband Grants Manager, and Taylor Collins, who rounds out our broadband team. Thank you all for your work. We have, I'll tell you, I've only been on this job for about 6 months, but I've talked to a lot of folks around particularly in the Southeast, who are running these programs, and we have one of the best programs and one of the best teams. And I'll match up against anybody, and I'm very grateful and thankful for the work that my team does. So thank you all. Congratulations to the awardees. And I think we're going to take a brief break. We got checks to present. We're going to do some photos with the governor, and we'll go ahead and jump into that now. Brooksy.